Good morning, students. Today, this is the first PUC class, biology. So here, first PUC biology. It's my name, Kasturi, chapter 1, part 2. So we have already started the chapter 1, that is nothing but the living world. The chapter is nothing but living world. So this is living world. You have already learned about what is living and some of the characteristics of living organisms. Just will recall what are the characteristics of living organisms. First is the growth and development. Second, reproduction. Third one, metabolism. Then cellular organization of body. Consciousness or response to the stimuli is also called irritability. There are so many other characteristics also we can make out, but these are the main characteristics of living organisms. So we have already learned about growth and development, then reproduction. Today I will explain you the rest characteristics. One is metabolism. So metabolism is of course, metabolism is nothing but the biochemical process that occur within the living organisms in order to maintain the life. That means the sum of total all the biochemical reactions which occur in the body of living organisms is called metabolism. Body of organism is made up of chemicals, maybe proteins, carbohydrates, lipids. All these are nothing but biomolecules. The molecules which are found in the body of living organism is called biomolecules. These molecules are formed within the body, are broken down into simpler one. That is mainly because of main function called metabolism. So this metabolism we can see from even lower organisms to the higher organisms. That means from the prokaryotes to eukaryotes. Again, eukaryotes means unicellular organisms like amoeba, paramecium, all these are the protozoans, ekakosha jeevalu, to multicellular organisms. That means body of organism made up of many cells, multi meaning many, cellular means cells, where we can see the metabolism. Then this metabolism broadly classified into two types. One is anabolism and another one catabolism. So there are two processes, anabolism, catabolism. Anabolism is nothing but building up process where complex molecules are synthesized from the simpler molecules. Okay, where complex molecules, the bigger molecules are synthesized from the simple molecules. For example, the important process we can see in case of plants, that is nothing but photosynthesis. Photo meaning light, synthesis meaning preparation. Photosynthesis is nothing but an anabolic process where complex molecules like carbohydrate synthesized by using carbon dioxide and water in the presence of sunlight by the green plants because they contain chlorophyll pigment. So photosynthesis, Kannada meaning Dhyuti Samsleshana Kriya. Dhyuti means light, Samsleshana meaning preparation. So that we can see in case of plants, hence plants are called autotrophs. Then what is catabolism? It is nothing but breaking down of complex molecule into the simpler one. So this catabolism also we can see in the body of living organisms. Catabolism, example like respiration, digestion. Usira considered Jeerna. So in case of respiration, all of you know glucose is used as a fuel molecule, and this glucose broken down into carbon dioxide and water, which release the energy. So that means glucose C6H12O6 is a glucose molecule which is broken down into carbon dioxide and water, and by the same time energy is released. So that means that is catabolism, where you can see the breaking down of glucose molecule into its constituents. Then digestion. So all of you know digestion. So what is the digestion? It's nothing but biochemical process where complex food molecules are broken down into the simpler forms. So all of you eat the food which contain carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, vitamins, minerals, etc. So anyway, so in order to absorb by the cells or in the body, it has to digest. For example, carbohydrate, we take a food which contains starch. So if it is any plant origin, starch. If it is animal origin, it contains glycogen. And this starch or glycogen was broken down into the disaccharide called maltose. Disaccharide means di means two, saccharide means sugar. Maltose further is converted into the monosaccharides like glucose, fructose, etc. So that is the constituents. So this digestion, in this process, enzymes are involved. So for all these reactions, whatever the reactions are taking place in our body, it takes place in the presence of enzymes. Hence, enzymes are called biocatalysts. So how you conduct the test in chemical laboratory or chemistry lab? By adding the catalyst where it can accelerate the chemical reaction. But in our body or in a living organism, body of living organisms, there are thousands of chemical reactions that takes place in the presence of enzymes. In the presence of enzymes. So where we can say all these anabolism or catabolism process takes place in the presence of enzymes. They are nothing but ಕಿಣ್ವಗಳು. For example, we take food which contain starch or glycogen which are broken down in our mouth because of salivary amylase. So amylase is the enzyme which acts on carbohydrate, mainly polysaccharide, converted into maltose. So like that, so many enzymes are there in our digestive system like pepsin, renin, chymotrypsin, enterokinase. There are thousands of enzymes also present in our body which accelerate the chemical reaction in the body of living organisms. So anyway, metabolism is nothing but is a biochemical process that occur within the living organisms in order to maintain the life. Otherwise, if there is no chemical reaction, then we can say the animal or plant is dead one. So when the organisms are living, we can see metabolism. Hence, metabolism is one of main characteristics of living organisms. We cannot see metabolism in non-living things. So just non-living things like stone, soil, whatever may be. So there is no metabolism, there is no reproduction or there is no growth and development. But all these features we can see only in living organisms. Then cellular organization of body. So all of you know cellular organization of body. Body is made up of cells. So cells are the basic structural and functional unit of living organisms. Cell, Jiva Kosha. So you have learned in lower class plant cell, animal cell. All these cells comes under eukaryotes. So you know what is the difference between prokaryotes and eukaryotes. In case of prokaryotes like bacteria or monera, where there is no true nucleus membrane. You cannot see any nuclear membrane. Just you can see genetic material. That is called prokaryotic cell, and the organism is called prokaryotes. But in case of plants or animals, you can see true nucleus where the genetic material is surrounded by the nuclear membrane or nuclear envelope. So that means here in eukaryotes, the cell is the basic unit of living organism. It's a structural and functional unit of living organisms. So you know unicellular organisms, ekakosha jeevi like amoeba, paramecium, euglena, all the protozoans, that is nothing but adi jeevigalu, where the body of organism made up of just one cell. So just single cell or one cell only. That is called unicellular. Uni meaning single, just one cell is there. But the cell itself performs all the function. For example, you have studied amoeba. Amoeba is irregular organism. There is no definite shape because of pseudopodia. So that is sulpada, pseudopodia. But you can see the nucleus, contractile vacuoles, organelles, etc., which are present in the protoplasm. So protoplasm is nothing but the content which is present within the plasma membrane. So the cell parts, cell organelles which perform the function, that is called cellular organization, that you can see in unicellular organisms. Unicellular organisms. Then in case of multicellular organisms, what is the multicellular organism? That is nothing but body of organism made up of many cells, where we can see different levels of organization that we studied in lower class: tissue level, organ system level, then finally organism will form. Tissue level, that is group of cells which perform particular function, that is called as tissues. We can see the tissues in plants as well as animals like us. Plants, you know, there are two main types of tissues: meristematic tissues and the permanent tissues. Like meristematic tissues, apical meristems, which are present in the apex of the plants, responsible for elongation of the stem. So plant height main agi increase agodu apical meristem inda. Then intercalary meristems are there. That is present between the permanent tissues. Mainly they are present in the petiole of leaf in the dantal irtade. Then lateral meristems, they are present at the side of the stem or plant trunk. So then permanent tissues, you know, again is divided into simple permanent tissues and the complex. If the tissue is made up of only one kind of cells, that is simple permanent tissues, parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma, etc. Then complex means made up of more than one kind of tissues, that is called complex tissues. You have already learned like xylem and phloem. These are the conducting tissues present in plants. Xylem is water conducting tissues and phloem is food conducting tissues. That we can make out in case of plants. So that means that is nothing but tissue level of organization. Tissues we can see group of tissues which are found in one organ, then you can say that is organ system. For example, in case of human being or any animals, we have different organs. Liver or mouth, liver, kidney, all these are nothing but organs. Then next level is organs system, that is nothing but digestive system, excretory system, etc. That is the system of organization. And finally, organisms are formed. If you see maybe a unicellular organism or multicellular organism, body is up of cell itself. Hence, cell is the basic unit of living organism. That is the next characteristics of the living organism, cellular organization. And next characteristic, that is called as consciousness or response to the stimuli, is also called irritability. So, what is consciousness? All of us are able to sense the environmental change. So, all the organisms, they have an ability to sense the environmental change or surrounding one, then response to that change. So, that is called as consciousness or response to the stimuli. The stimuli in the cell, there are three types: physical, chemical, biological one. Physical, like heat, light, temperature, so all these are the physical one. Chemical, that is nothing but some chemicals, hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, or any chemicals, that is the chemicals. Biological means living organism, that is also a stimulus or stimuli. So, for example, if you keep a potted plant near the window or door side, so generally you might have observed they grow towards the light, So, that means light is the stimuli, response is growth, that means increase in the size of organism, that is nothing but that is a response. Or in case of, for example, if any hot plate is placed, so if we touch suddenly, unknowingly you may touch, so generally we take back our hands. Why? Because the hot plate somewhat heat or temperature can make out, so that we take back our hands. That is nothing but response. Take back our hands is the response. Heat or temperature is the stimuli. Then generally plants reproduce during particular season. Flowering takes place in particular season. That is because of availability of duration of light. That is also a duration of light is the stimuli. Reproduction is the response. Then you might have seen touch me not, naturally. When you touch that, generally it droops its leaves. Why? Touch is the stimuli, drooping is the response or reaction of the touch me not plant. It is also called Mimosa pudica, scientific name Mimosa pudica. So millipede, if there is a millipede is there, you touch the millipede, generally it coils. That is because of touch is the stimuli. Coiling is the response or reaction. So there are so many examples we can give for irritability. Or if any sharp object brought near your eyes, so generally what happens? Will close the eyes. That is the response. Then fear or sharp object is the stimuli. So all these are the examples for consciousness or response to the stimuli that we can see only in living organisms. So now you can differentiate the living organism from non-living things. So meaning all these characteristics we can see only in living organisms, not in non-living things like growth and development, reproduction, metabolism, cellular organization of the body, consciousness or response to the stimuli. All these are the characteristics of living organisms. These are not found in non-living things. So thank you students. We'll learn the next session. Learn this.